Let me start it up. As usual, I'll let you guys introduce yourselves afterwards. You know how the good thing goes. But what's going on, everybody? You know who it is, your boy Narclips, your boy 94 AK Malik back here again. Doing something different for the first time on the channel, something new, something fresh. We're going to try and see how it goes. We're going to do a Legends King of the Ring tournament fantasy booking between me and the two guys I have with me. Now, with the fantasy booking, it's all going to be a mixture of a lot of things about, what superstars we feel like should beat the superstar to continue to move on. It's not about personal favorites or anything. Some people in the chat I know will agree to disagree with some of the picks we make, but you have to think about long-term booking and think about what superstars are bigger in star power. You got to look at, the matchups in the tournament, moving forward and everything. So a bunch is going to go into this. We have a 32-man Legends bracket right here with a bunch of legends that I put together. Try to mix things up and make it a little bit different. It was pretty kind of hard to make. The first rounders maybe a little bit easier, but, as you continue to move forward, it'll get harder and harder. But as always, I have guests on my YouTube channel, and I'll let you guys introduce yourselves. We'll start with Sean, and then, after Sean goes, you go ahead and go. We'll just go ahead and start.
I already know what it is, man. First and foremost, big shout out to Malik. I appreciate the invite. To my brother, man, appreciate you. Looking forward to what this Legends King of the Ring tournament, how it plays out. You already know my name, Sean, a.k.a. Professor MVP, just because I'm wearing glasses. Thankful to be here, man. God is good.
What's going on, everybody? Petty Endo. My name is real name's Alan. Shout out to Malik for inviting me. I was here for Jeopardy a couple of weeks ago. Been a wrestling fan for 93. I'm here to make you laugh and make you think. So let's get it.
Yeah, so it's a 32-man Legends King of the Ring tournament. We'll start with the first rounders. We'll start with this side over here, and then we'll just go to this side. So we'll do all the ones on the left side, and then after the left side, we'll go to the right side. Unless you guys want to do like.
Nah, man, you're the host. We're following you, brother.
All right, we'll just do the left side first, and then we'll just go to the right side. So we'll just start from the top. So in the beginning, we have. I'll go ahead and read the superstars off first, and we'll start. We have Undertaker versus Batista in the first round, Hulk Hogan versus CM Punk, Triple H versus Kurt Angle, Roman Reigns versus Mick Foley, AJ Styles versus Shawn Michaels, Randy Savage versus Chris Jericho, The Rock versus Seth Rollins, Randy Orton versus Goldberg. On the right side, we have John Cena versus Kane, Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero, Brock Lesnar versus Edge, Andre the Giant versus Big Show, Ultimate Warrior versus Bobby Lashley, Bret Hart versus Booker T, Ric Flair versus Daniel Bryan, and Stone Cold versus Bruno Sammartino. Of course, all these superstars will be like in the prime of their careers. So when you look at certain superstars, don't think that it's like, certain superstars may be older than others and everything. Everybody's in their prime. Just imagine. It's all fantasy booking. Imagine everybody's in their prime. So we'll start with the top right here, man. We got Undertaker versus Batista. I'll let you guys put your thoughts into this. Sean, I'll start with you. Let you put your thoughts and 2 cents on this and what you think.
Well, I want to start with what you just said. My esteemed host talking about how these wrestlers are in their prime. We don't even know what the Undertaker's prime was because he's had so many amazing entities of his career. Like, he was awesome in the 90s. He was awesome in the mid-90s. He was awesome in the late-90s. He was awesome in 2000. He was awesome in 2005.
Just know it's not the old Taker. It's not the
only non-awesome Taker is like from maybe 2018 on, 2017 on. So just that alone, with all due respect to Batista and his, I guess you could call it a run at the top, even though he never really was a top guy.
I would say his best years were like between 05 to 08. Like
Fair enough. That being said, with just my diatribe about Undertaker and his many entities and how basically he was on top of the game, a top 5 talent for no less than 20 years, if not 25, I think it's a no-brainer. I think number 1 seed Undertaker moves on to the second round.
Plus, you also, when we think about this too, it's about, what superstar we really want to go, because we're like the owners, the fake owners, like what superstar we would book over. I would have The Undertaker beat Batista as well in the first round. It's The Undertaker. I got this, he's got to move on in the first round for me, so.
Yeah.
Yep.
You agree? Everybody agree?
I agree. His first real pivotal feud was the year I started watching wrestling, so
All right, what about Hulk Hogan versus CM Punk? We have, I guess you could probably say, honestly, you could say now two of the biggest stars in professional wrestling history, if you ask me. I mean, Hulk Hogan obviously transcended wrestling. CM Punk has also transcended wrestling, if you ask me, especially with his comeback. You know, his return was like one of the most special things I've ever seen since I've been a wrestling fan. So, as far as booking wise, though, as much as people don't like him, I gotta say Hulk Hogan, just for the fact Hulk Hogan not only was the bigger star, but booking wise, it wouldn't make sense booking wise for me to have Hulk Hogan lose in a first round tournament. You know what I mean? Like I don't see how that makes a lot of sense for me personally. So, what do you guys think?
For the benefit of the homie Petty, who doesn't really know me that well, we're getting a chance to meet each other tonight. Peace, bro. Nice to meet you. I was a tremendous comedian as a child. Then I grew up and started reading books and doing research and became a journalist and understand the backstory. I'm going to put that to the side, put my disappointment in the fugaziness of Hulkamania to the side and just book this as a booker. Bothers me to do this, but I will advance Hogan to the second round.
I agree.
No argument so far. Everybody's on the same track. No debates. All right, what about this one? Triple H versus Kurt Angle. Petty, I'll let you start since Sean's been starting. I'll let you go. What do you think about this?
So, with Kurt Angle versus Triple H in the prime of their careers.
In the prime, it's in the prime, but it's also about booking decisions too.
Booking decisions.
Who you think should go over as well. So
right, yeah. That's the part that's got me. The who should go over, who's going to be the bigger draw, because both of them. Because if I just look at it from a match standpoint, if I'm going to look at it from a booking and a match standpoint, I feel like in the long run, I'm going to get more bang for my buck if Kurt Angle advances than with Triple H. So I'm going to pick Kurt Angle.
Kurt Angle. For me, this is really tough, man. This is really tough. This is one of the ones that I told you about in the first round that were like those tough ones. Both guys are tremendous. If I had to pick from a bookings perspective, though, I'm gonna advance Triple H.
Oh,
okay. All right, Professor, you're the tie-breaking vote.
All right. I would never do this unless it was in this environment. I am not a fan. I am a booker. I got a lot of respect for Triple H. I'm advancing Kurt Angle.
Who'd you say? I'm sorry, you cut out.
I said I have a lot of respect for Triple H, but I'm advancing Kurt Angle.
All right, Kurt Angle. Majority rules. I got outvoted. Kurt Angle to the next round. Advances. All right, this one we have Roman Reigns versus Mick Foley. Now, catches Jack. Mick Foley, mankind. He got many versions of Mick Foley.
I see the whole. This seems like a no-brainer to me, but I can tell by your face it's not necessarily.
It's a no-brainer to me. I just don't know what y'all gonna say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I'm being real, I'm advancing Roman. I'm sorry, but Roman Reigns is just. I like Mick Foley. I respect Mick Foley, but the past year of Roman Reigns has been. I don't want to say one of the most dominant, but it's one of the greatest runs I've seen anybody have in a long time. Like, WWE has already made it clear that they're going to solidify not only his championship run as Universal Champion, one of the best of this era, but they're going to solidify him as one of the greatest of all time by the time he retires. So, if I'm being honest, I got to advance Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns is the best. Roman Reigns is the best talent in WWE in this era. And with all due respect to Mick Foley and his Hall of Fame career, Mick Foley was never the best in the world in any era. So, Roman Reigns.
Everybody agree?
Yep, I agree. It took me a second, but I had to hear y'all talk first.
I mean, like I said, if this was 2018, maybe a little bit different. Because Roman Reigns was still at the top, but he wasn't like where he is right now. Like what he's been doing the last year is just he hasn't even lost yet. He's been the tribal chief. He hasn't been pinned since he's been this new character. So,
I mean, when you're looking at it, I guess if I'm looking at it at more than one angle, then I would give it a go. Now this one's about to.
All right, AJ Styles, Shawn Michaels, the ultimate. Boy. This is probably like one of the most ultimate dream matches that people would have.
Prime Shawn Michaels, prime AJ Styles.
Just imagine the match we would have put on too, like in the God.
Absolutely. Would have been. I could see a finish. I literally could have I have a finish in my head right now.
Bro, this match could have been so amazing. Like in their primes, it would have been spectacular. For those who don't know, I know you don't know, Petty, but Shawn considers Shawn Michaels to be the greatest of all time. Shawn Michaels is his GOAT.
As do I.
There you go. Nice.
As do I.
Hey, Shawn Michaels, your GOAT too?
Yep.
Right, so two people have Shawn Michaels as the greatest ever. AJ Styles, I mean, we're talking about two of the greatest in-ring performers of all time. Like these two are just so spectacular in the ring. But for me, I'm not going to say this one was a no-brainer easy, but how could I not advance Shawn Michaels in the first round? I mean, AJ Styles is great, but with all due respect, he ain't no Shawn Michaels. So I got to move on Shawn Michaels for me.
For me, it's HBK, no hesitation, even though AJ is one of the best to ever leave from a pair of boots. HBK moves on in this particular tournament.
Even though the Montreal screw job damn near ruined my childhood, I'm going to pick Shawn Michaels. He's the greatest in-ring performer I've ever seen.
There you go.
Okay, next one. This one was the toughest one for me. We got Macho Man Randy Savage and Chris Jericho.
Ooh.
This was really tough, man. This was probably the toughest first rounder for me. Yes. I had to think about.
Yes.
Sean, I'll let you start, man. What are you thinking?
Well, as you know, Petty, once again, getting to know each other, my brother. Y2J has creeped his way into my Mount Rushmore with his latest incarnation in AEW. When you add that to his lineage and his career, Jericho has creeped his way into to being the number 4 wrestler to ever live, in my opinion. So it's hard for me not to advance him, but I just have so much, just infinite respect for Savage.
I mean, like I said, it's all about booking. You know what I'm saying? What you see. It's all about what you think makes sense. So it's not necessarily have to be about who's always better. It's about what you think. There's always upsets in tournaments. Don't forget about that. We have upsets in tournaments all the time.
Because we're putting this tournament on, and it's going to be in front of a national television audience.
Right.
Like we've seen upsets in tournaments many times. You know what I mean? So,
well, considering what you two gentlemen just explained, reluctantly, and I say reluctantly even though I love them, it's kind of hypocritical to take one of my top 4 to ever live out of the tournament, but I have to. I would love to see Savage and HBK in round 2, and that's what I'm doing.
You going with Randy Savage? What are you going with?
Sean, you're a reporter, right? You reported on wrestling?
I do. Yes.
Yeah. So, as you know, Randy Savage actually wanted to work a program with Shawn Michaels in the 90s, but Vince wouldn't let him.
Yes, he did.
This is hard.
It's a what if? A big what if?
It's a piggyback on the point.
Big what if.
It's a piggyback on the point.
Yeah.
I have my choice. I'll let you decide first. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Listen, real quick to piggyback off your point, Petty.
Yeah.
He wanted to work with HBK when he was past his prime. Imagine 87 Savage versus 86 Shawn Michaels. Oh my god.
Right.
It's been amazing.
Oh.
Like I said, when it comes to the booking, it's all about you got to put everything into perspective. It's about what you see it's best for the tournament.
Right. And Randy, at the end of the day, if I'm going to put the match styles, and then also if I'm gonna put together who's gonna be a draw, who's gonna draw more, it's gonna be more oohs and ahs. That counts too. I am also gonna pick Randy Savage. I love Chris Jericho. I thought his debut at Monday Night Raw in '99 was one of the greatest I've ever seen, but I'm picking Randy Savage. Sorry, Chris.
Randy Savage was my pick too. So
okay, good. We all agree.
Randy Savage was my pick. That was tough though. This one I'm just gonna put down The Rock. We don't need to.
Yeah, I agree. There's no.
I love. First off, I love Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is one of my favorites in WWE right now. He's been one of my favorites. He's also one of the greatest in-ring performers I've ever seen in the ring. He's spectacular. But we got to be honest though. He's not on the level of The Rock, and The Rock is going to draw more moving towards the tournament than Seth Rollins would.
I love Seth, especially Seth in 2021. I think he's on top of his game, but in this tournament, The Rock advances without a doubt.
Yeah.
Unless he was cashing in Money in the Bank at WrestleMania 31, I don't want to see him.
Right.
I love that.
Okay, this one, Randy versus Goldberg. So Goldberg was never, I guess you could say he never really was in his prime in WWE because his prime was WCW, but he had a good run like 03. You know what I mean? Like around that time. But it's always about booking and draws, and you got to be honest, Goldberg is a big draw, whether people like him or not. Definitely one of the most dominant and believable superstars ever in the history of the business. Randy Orton, one of the greatest third-generation superstars of all time. Also, to me, one of the best in-ring wrestlers of all time as well. Is one of the best heels ever, too. A phenomenal heel, man. His heel work is top tier. He actually moved into my top 5 heels ever. After he set the Fiend on fire, that was it for me. Like, Randy Orton's in there. What more savage stuff can he do? Like, I've seen this man. I've seen him kick people in the head. I've seen him handcuff somebody, kiss his wife in the corner. Like, I've seen this guy set somebody on fire. Like, what more can he do that can top his savageness? So, Randy Orton, one of the best. Oh, this is tough, man. This is tough for me. Because I love Randy Orton. I do. Love Randy Orton, man. Randy Orton's one of my top 10 favorite wrestlers ever. From a booking point, though, I might have to say Goldberg.
Ooh, I'm surprised.
I have to say Goldberg. I mean,
you're a booker. You're thinking like that.
I have to say Goldberg. Yeah, I think Goldberg just makes more sense to move on.
John?
Oh man, I'm surprised at Malik. I don't know what you're gonna say, Petty, but for me, I mean, it's not even close. Like, I'm talking about 70-30. I'm talking about almost 80-20, Randy Orton.
Yeah.
It's up to you, man. Randy Orton.
My grandmother's favorite wrestler was Goldberg. She was, God rest her soul. I remember July 6th of 98. I remember that whole run. I remember him coming to the Raw when Rock was in the ring.
Speared the Rock, yeah.
Spearing the Rock, spearing him when he had that bad haircut. But at the end of the day, if I want to look at booking, legacy, match quality, being a big heel, being a big draw, and then telling the story in the next round against The Rock, I'm going to pick Randy Orton.
All right, Randy Orton moves on. Goldberg is out. Moving up to the top. So now we're on the right side right here. We have John Cena versus Kane in the first round. If anybody puts anybody over John Cena, we're not talking.
We all know that I'm not a Cena fan, but I'm no fool.
I need not even vote on this.
Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero. This is a no-brainer for me as well. I got Eddie Guerrero. Love
I don't even think this is just as easy for me as Cena and Kane. I'm picking Eddie.
Yeah, I can't even go against him.
Love Rey Mysterio. I love Rey Mysterio.
Plus, I mean,
Rey Mysterio.
I remember when Eddie Guerrero was rocking the silver and red. He had the old jumper music.
All right, what about this one? Brock Lesnar versus Edge.
Another easy one in my book. As much as I love Edge, another easy one in my book as far as being a booker.
Brock Lesnar.
There's another easy one. Brock Lesnar.
Brock for me as well.
Yeah.
Andre versus The Big Show.
Oh, this is an easy bracket. Let's keep going. Let's
put The Big Show right now.
We're rolling now.
Andre the Giant moves on.
Easy peasy.
It's a shame though because I really wish they would have booked Big Show to be kind of on the same level as Andre. You know, like
they had
WCW tried.
Son, bro.
That was his original angle.
His original gimmick was the Giant, but I feel like like as far as believability, like they should be equal to me. Like they're both literally they're the same. They're the same size and everything. Like it's just WWE just kind of made him too goofy too many times, man. Like there were times when he was believable, and then they would just make him do something completely stupid and just ruin it.
Yeah, that you got to fact that in Floyd stuff. Yeah.
Oh, this one right here, Ultimate Warrior versus Bobby Lashley. What do you guys think about this right here?
This is part of the average. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I love Warrior. I love him to death. I think, but I can't pick against Bobby Lashley in this one. I just think the upside, the drawing power, the potential match in the next round is believable.
You Bobby better go than Ultimate Warrior?
Because you also have to think about the next round. Do I want the Warrior facing any of the next two guys in the next round?
I mean, you do have to think about that because Warrior was never he was never the best wrestler. Drawing wise though, Bobby Lashley not even on the same level as being a draw.
That's Ultimate Warrior. That's true.
Ultimate Warrior main event WrestleMania against Hulk Hogan and won. So I mean,
and tore the house down with Randy Savage.
Yeah. So
next year, but
like I said, in-ring wise, you know what I'm saying, like, obviously Warrior never really put on classic matches, but as far as draw though,
outside of Savage, no.
That's pretty big. Okay, so you got Bobby Lashley, Sean.
God rest Ultimate Warrior's soul. No disrespect intended. Warrior had 2 good years, man.
2.
I mean, 2. So, I mean, Bobby's been the guy on Raw for a year. So, I got to go with Bobby. I'm going to kind of little spoiler alert for me. Nobody else in this tournament has Bobby Lashley being passed in this bracket. But I do think he gets the nod in round 1.
All right. Bobby Lashley will move on.
Oh, boy.
Getting outvoted, man. First round. I'm getting outbid out here, man. We got, for people to know, I was picking Ultimate Warrior, by the way.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Bret Hart versus Booker T, second round. Is anybody else? Is we all gonna agree Bret Hart, or is anybody want to?
I can't even.
I want to say though, yes, Bret Hart, but I love Booker T.
I love him too.
We got to advance Bret. Ric Flair versus Daniel Bryan, which would have been an amazing match to see. Would have been absolutely spectacular.
This is hard.
I would have loved to see Ric Flair versus Daniel Bryan, like Ric Flair. Not even against Ric Flair in the prime, but at least Ric Flair a little bit, in the 40s.
Well, because with Ric Flair, if you don't mind, was I going first or was I not want to go? So with Ric Flair, and I just was talking to my brother about this the other day. My only issue with Ric Flair for me is if you look at his career after 92, you don't really see that much the rest of the 90s. You got a couple of good matches in the 2000s. Obviously, his match with Shawn to end his career stands up there. But if I'm going to look overall, drawing power would probably go to Rick, but if I want to have a good match, like a really, really good match, prime technical ability, things of that nature. It's hard, and I love Ric Flair to death, even with everything that's going on right now. I'm gonna pick Daniel Bryan.
Oh,
I'm going Ric Flair. No brainer for me. I'm going Ric Flair.
Okay.
There is no world that wrestling exists. As much as I love Bryan Danielson, there is no world that exists that a wrestling tournament takes place and a prime Ric Flair does not advance out of round 1.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta go Ric Flair.
I've been outvoted. It's okay.
Stone Cold versus Bruno and Martino, two of the biggest stars in the history of wrestling. A lot of people may not be familiar with Bruno because he was around during his time. Man, sold out Madison Square Garden more than any wrestler in the history of the business. But unfortunately, back then, WWE wasn't global. It was only territorial. So it wasn't as box office and as big as it was when Stone Cold was on the top. Stone Cold, though, to me, is the most popular WWE superstar of all time. I mean, this guy literally picked WWE up when they were at their down point, saved them during the Attitude Era. The Austin 316 shirt is the biggest WWE t-shirt seller of all time. He's made WWE more money than any superstar in the history of the business. I mean, this guy was literally he may be the one top, even when they turn him here, people really want to hate this guy. He may be the one top guy that was the face of the company at a period of time that people legitimately never wanted to hate or never hated at some point. I mean, like, he was just so, there's nothing to hate about him. Like, what can you hate about him? There's nothing to hate about his character. Everything about his character is just amazing. So Bruno, one of the greats, but I gotta say Stone Cold Steve Austin for me.
Bruno Sammartino was the world champion for 714 years. Okay. 714 years. Literally was champion for 714 years. Like, that's 7 centuries. But Austin can't go against Austin. Austin advances.
Neither can I. Company doesn't go public without him.
Stone Cold. All right, moving back up to the top right here, we have Undertaker versus Hulk Hogan. This is where it's going to get a little tougher now because now we starting to advance to the further rounds. So we have Undertaker versus Hulk Hogan. All aside, obviously both guys are big draws. We know that. Undertaker was never really like the face of the company like Hogan was, but Undertaker was still a big draw in his time. He's one of the greatest character of all time, if you ask me. From a booking perspective, now I'm looking more towards now I'm looking at just strictly booking on what I think is best for the tournament moving forward. Because you have to remember, just because superstars lose, then they don't have to lose by count. And they can lose by count out. You feel me? Like, we don't have to, not to pinned in the ring. Like, something could happen, interference. You know what I mean? Whatever. For me, from a booking perspective, looking down the tournaments and looking, let me see if I can maybe able to. Okay, now I can make it like this big now. All right. Looking down the line and looking at the superstars that are left in there and what could be potential matchups. For me, I'm moving on The Undertaker.
This is a big tournament. I say Hogan and Undertaker fight to a draw.
Oh,
a draw.
Oh, we gonna do Tatanka and the Narcissist 93, huh? Oh.
Neither guy loses any team.
Oh.
Neither guy loses. I say this match ends in a time limit draw.
Going back to the year I started watching wrestling. Okay.
It's up to you. What do you think? I said The Undertaker, so.
Okay.
If you pick Hogan, then Sean's got to pick somebody.
Yeah.
Can you scroll down a little bit? Because I want to see who's on the bottom of the.
Well, he would either face Roman or Kurt going next, and then we got Sean and Randy right here, and then we got The Rock and Randy Orton right here on this side of the bracket. Then over here you got Flair, Stone Cold, Bret Hart, Bobby Lashley, Andre, Brock Lesnar, and then Cena and Eddie Guerrero.
Okay. You know what? I think I see where Sean's coming from. I agree.
So you guys want to do a draw?
Let him go a draw. I agree.
Creative. I like it, brother. Creative.
I agree.
I'll just put draw, right?
Woo-hoo!
Just as an aside,
that one coming. I threw a little curveball. I like it.
You do realize whoever wins this match will just move on.
Yes.
To the next round.
Yes.
All right.
That's exactly my point, and I think Petty gets it too.
I just remember watching how shocked my dad was when the narcissist and Tatanka went to a draw, and then the narcissist knocked him out, and then Bam Bam got the bye. So
I can't read what the comments that you're saying, but I don't know what they're saying right now. But
they're probably going crazy.
I hate the draw. I hate that idea personally. I would never do a draw in a tournament, but that's just me though. That's just me.
Every major tournament in the game has had a big draw.
They have, but I never liked it though. Like I was never a fan. Like I hated it every time they did.
See, to me, you got to think smart. You're talking about being a booker. This way, Hogan or Undertaker don't lose any steam. They both can. Neither one can say they lost, and you get Kurt Angle and Roman Reigns a bye. I like it.
But see, that's why I said when you book though, there's always different ways you can lose and still be protected. Like you can lose by a count out, or somebody can interfere, and
I know.
Like different like scenarios. You know what I mean? Like different things could.
Trust me. We're booking this thing together. This is going to be big. It's going to lead to more matches. Hogan and Prime Undertaker are going to be fighting on pay-per-views for the next 6 months.
And it does give you a segue of, I should have beat you. You should have beat me. Now we can have a bigger stipulation match down the line.
Oh yeah.
I like it.
All right. So with the draw, nobody wins.
Said with a lot of sarcasm.
I honestly hate that idea. I really don't like that. Like I really, really am against that. But I got outvoted, so I can't say nothing. So
Vince was not on board with Shawn getting the title at first, so these things happen, my man.
Right.
That definitely happened. Next round we have Kurt Angle versus Roman Reigns. Now, winner will automatically move to the semifinals.
Oh yeah.
I think about this now because I wasn't expecting that draw because Undertaker would have been in that semifinals for me. So now I really have to think about, I'll let you guys. If you guys got ideas, you can just go ahead and solve. You guys know if you guys already know.
John, you want me to go first? So now that we have a draw, and one of these guys is going to get a bye, which makes this more interesting. You put these two next to it. You put these two against each other, and we're doing regular King of the Ring rules. So the first rounds were 15 minutes. So this is what, 30? So this is a 30-minute match.
The first round, the second
15
round
is 30. The third round's 45, and the last round's an hour. So between these two, and then they would get a bye, just because of who's on the other side and how that would match up the next round. I'm going to pick Kurt Angle and give him the bye.
Well, we shocked the world, my dude, with the whole draw thing, but we were on the same page for a major decision in this tournament, but we are not on the same page for this one. I'm giving the modern day number one guy in the business the bye. I'm giving Roman Reigns the head of the table treatment all the way to the semifinals.
Oh man, fuck. Oh man, can I really see Roman going that far in this type of tournament though?
You can pick Kurt Angle.
I don't know if I would see Kurt Angle going that far in this tournament either though. That's the thing. Man, I'm looking at the matches moving down because we gotta. Oh man. Okay.
Sean, you're Pat Patterson. That's all I gotta say. You are the Pat Patterson of this group.
I'm looking at everything moving forward because I don't know what everybody's thinking either.
I consider myself more like Michael P.
Okay.
I can only look at I can only look at what I'm thinking because I don't know what anybody else is thinking. So I'm looking at everything else.
Take your time.
Oh man.
It's a bind to the semi finals.
I know that's the thing.
Right.
Like they're going to the semifinal. That's the thing. If it was the next round, I would feel. If it was the next round, it'd be different for me because I already had who I already had in mind who I thought. But it's like the semifinals, and then whoever, it's like literally one win away from being in the finals. Woo, man.
WrestleMania 93.
Yep.
Hogan and Undertaker were just too good to lose. Neither one could lose that match.
Hulk Hogan could lose. Shit.
I saw Hulk Hogan lose enough.
He can get it. Hulk Hogan can get a count out. He be all right. Man, if I had to pick one, which I got to, fuck, man. This is hard. They put me in a tough spot because I wasn't expecting that draw. If I had to pick one, moving forward, because I'm assuming that these two are going to be obvious. I'm assuming those two are going to be obvious. I'm assuming some of these are going to be obvious over here as well. If these two are obvious, it'll come down to what I think it will, which will come down to that guy right there. Fuck it, pick Roman.
The head of the table.
So Roman Reigns will get a bye. All right.
So Roman Reigns already moved. Lewis is losing his mind right now. I'm sorry, Lewis. This was not my fault.
This is great.
Trust me, if the circumstances were different, I would not have Roman Reigns going this far, Lewis. I promise you, I would not. But the circumstances that everything has happened, everything has changed now. So I put Roman moving on to the semifinals.
All right.
Now we got Shawn Michaels versus Randy Savage. What are you thinking right here?
Love Randy Savage. Rest in peace. Top 10 all time on HBK, the greatest in-ring performer to ever live. Moves on.
No disagreement here. As much as I would love to see Randy, I got to give it to HBK. I can even see a finish in my head.
The Rock.
Wait a minute.
We know The Rock is beating Randy Orton.
No, wait a minute. Hold on. You wait there. I'm just playing.
Randy Orton, but
Malik was like, okay, The Rock.
All right, The Rock. Okay.
Honestly, that's the main reason I picked Goldberg, because I figured Goldberg and The Rock would be a little bit tough. But once you said Randy Orton, that was just The Rock easily. No respect to The Rock. I love The Rock. No respect to Randy Orton, though. I love Randy Orton. Randy Orton's amazing. John Cena versus Eddie Guerrero. For me, it's John Cena still. I mean, we're looking at star power and everything.
Unfortunately, yes.
This is a great decision, actually. It's very smart.
Yeah. I respect Cena, but I love Eddie.
Brock versus Andre. Dude, you better not say another draw with this one. There has to be a loser. And if there was a draw, we could have picked this one right here. This one could have been the draw right here. If it was any match.
We might have to, we know we got to give Cena a bye at some point, right? No, I'm just joking.
I'm saying like if there was one match that could have been that made sense to be a draw, it literally could have been this one right here. This one I would have been okay with.
You gotta remember, Andre knows how to lose and be classy about it.
Hogan does too. When he wants to.
Hogan knows how to be classy about a loss.
He did when he lost to The Rock, didn't he?
The Undertaker.
The only time he was classy about a loss.
Yeah, the Undertaker in '91. He broke my neck. We
ain't got to worry about that though, man. We the bookers. We pick who wins, not Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan's not the one who picks who wins.
That doesn't work for me, brother.
I don't know if this is humanly possible, but I've seen him do it to Big Show. I think Andre, being the professional that he is,
I was going to say I'm picking Brock Lesnar.
Yeah,
I'm picking Brock Lesnar.
Being the professional that he is, lays down or helps elevate himself onto Brock Lesnar's shoulders.
Brock Lesnar is just believable enough to beat Andre. So
Yes.
that would be, I guess you
I
would
don't
say.
think there's no Suplex City though.
All right, we got Bobby Lashley versus Bret Hart.
All right, we can put that in. That's fine.
All right, Bret Hart to the next round. Ric Flair, Stone Cold. This may be tough. This one's
prime
not I'm sorry.
Stone Cold, prime Ric Flair, because prime Ric Flair, 89, 90,
greatest.
94.
Many people consider Ric Flair the greatest ever. Both guys are on my Rushmore, by the way.
Trust me, I've been cussed out plenty of times by family members.
Both guys are on my Mount Rushmore, but I'm looking for, when it comes to star power, I'm Stone Cold. I'm moving on to Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I agree.
He's gonna draw.
I agree.
You know what? I know Stone Cold already won. I disagree, but that's fine. I advance Ric Flair in my world, but this is our world, so Stone Cold moves on, I guess.
Oh, so we get Stone Cold and Bret Hart the next round. It's the third time's a charm.
Also, Roman's in the next round already. So we have Shawn Michaels versus The Rock, the match. It's crazy we never got this match either, too. Match that never happened. Obviously, one guy's bigger star than the other guy. One guy's a better wrestler than the other guy. We're looking towards the next round, I guess, who goes against Roman. So for Petty, what do you think right here? What do you got?
Woo! I got to think about this one because draw the match. Roman's had a bye, which means he's going to be relatively fresh.
Rock and Roman are cousins too. No, they are.
Rock and Roman are cousins, and I think in the long run, just because I literally opened up my wrestling watching career watching Shawn Michaels fight a bigger guy and made it look good, and I'm picking Shawn.
I'm picking The Rock.
Okay. Shawn?
More so, obviously, Roman and Shawn would have a better match, but I think Roman and Rock is a bigger draw and it would tell a better story just because of the relationship.
Family lineage. I understand.
Well, you just write it. I don't want to talk about it. Just write it in. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to say the words.
The Rock, just say The Rock.
Just write it. I don't want to say it.
The Rock.
That bothers me more than you could ever know.
John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. Once again, one guy bigger star than the other. One guy's more believable than the other. We all remember that massacre at SummerSlam 2014, that beat down. But we also have to look at the next round. So the next round would be Bret Hart, Stone Cold, which I don't even know what you guys are thinking on that one. I don't know who you guys would think. But for me, when I'm looking at it, now I'm looking more towards now like box office now, like because we're getting towards the end of the tournament. So what matches are going to help draw, and I feel like Cena and Lesnar can both draw a lot with either guy because both guys bring something different to the table. You know what I mean? Like John Cena brings a lot of controversy, Brock Lesnar just brings that believability to him. What are you thinking about this one? What do you think right here? John Cena, Brock Lesnar.
So this is the semifinal round.
Yeah, this is going into the semifinals.
Semifinals. Semifinals is 30 minutes. If we're gonna look, because the next round it's either Austin or Brad. I will go just based off of where we are now and what's to come. I'm going to go with John Cena.
Sean?
Just write it.
John Cena's the next round.
Petty, you don't understand. Those last two picks ripped my heart out.
You trust me.
Is this going to end up with Rock and Austin at the end?
You don't know that. Keep
I don't know.
So we got Bret Hart versus Stone Cold. I don't think we really had any upsets in this tournament. We got a couple, but I don't feel like we haven't had any big ones. Bret Hart versus Stone Cold. Both guys, we all remember that classic match they had at WrestleMania 13, by the way.
And Survivor Series 96.
Sean, what do you think about this match? What are you thinking?
I said Brett. So I say Brett beats him again. Brett moves on.
I got Stone Cold. Teddy, what do you think? I mean, Stone Cold versus John Cena. That's insane.
Oh, man.
I'm looking at it. Brett versus Cena would be the better match because Bret Hart would bring a lot out of John Cena. But I'm looking towards, for my decision, I'm looking more towards box office now. John Cena versus Stone Cold and Roman Reigns and The Rock in the semifinals. That's huge.
Plus, it tells a story because Stone Cold got beat by Bret Hart twice on pay-per-view previously. So what would it be? And plus, Bret Hart has already won 2 King of the Rings. I may not be able to show my face in most Bret Hart clubs again. Stone Cold. I'm sorry.
Okay, so in the semifinals, we have Roman Reigns versus The Rock and John Cena versus Stone Cold. We'll start with Roman versus The Rock. Petty, what are you thinking here? What are you thinking?
So if The Rock moves on, he will have faced.
Petty, I don't want to cut you off. All I'm going to say is 3 words. Tell a story.
If The Rock moves on, he would either face Cena or Austin. So it would be
who he's faced at WrestleMania on different occasions.
He's beat them both. He's faced them both. Roman has beaten Cena. He's never faced Stone Cold. So either way, we either get something we've seen before or something we've never seen before.
I think
with Roman and Stone Cold, we've never seen that. We've never seen.
The house is already rocking. I think just because it would be a passing of the torch type of moment in the family.
Oh my goodness. Is Roman Reigns really about to go to the fucking end of this tournament? It's crazy.
I like the way this man thinks, Malik. I like the way this man thinks.
Lewis is losing his mind right now, dude.
Lewis probably hates me. Against my better judgment, I'm going to pick Roman Reigns.
Yeah!
John, are you picking Roman too?
I'm telling you why I'm picking Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns gets the duke over The Rock as a passing of the torch, well said, Petty, and it sets up a dream match between the greatest of our generation versus, we'll see, but Roman Reigns in a miraculous upset with the bye, which helps solidify the fact that he got a little lucky, goes to the finals.
First off, I just want to say this. I just want to say this to the chat. I just want to say this. This is not my decision. I just want to let y'all know if it was up to me, Roman Reigns would have been out second round. But a lot of things have changed because of the bye and everything, and they're looking more towards upsets and everything. So I'm outvoted here. Roman Reigns is going to move on.
I don't even want to look at these comments.
Roman Reigns is going to move on to the end. And now we have John Cena versus Steve Austin. The two of the biggest stars of all time. For me, I'm guessing now I'm going to say Stone Cold.
Sean?
I'm all about never before seen. So I'm going with Austin.
I am too.
Now we got Stone Cold versus Roman Reigns in the finals of the tournament. I should have put the bracket thing right, the semifinals and everything. We have Roman Reigns versus Stone Cold in the finals of the King of the Ring tournament. This is probably a lot of people that weren't expecting. So let's just to clear over. We'll review everything real quick. How everything went down. So we had Undertaker and Batista in the first round. We had Undertaker advance. We had Hulk Hogan versus CM Punk with Hulk Hogan advancing. Triple H versus Kurt Angle with Kurt Angle advancing. Roman Reigns versus Mick Foley with Roman Reigns advancing. AJ Styles and Shawn Michaels with Shawn Michaels advancing. Randy Savage and Chris Jericho with Randy Savage advancing. The Rock and Seth Rollins with The Rock advancing. Randy Orton and Goldberg with Randy Orton advancing. Then we had the draw with Roman Reigns advancing between the finals. Kurt Angle versus Roman Reigns. Where Roman Reigns beat Kurt Angle. Roman Reigns is already in the semifinals. Shawn Michaels versus Randy Savage. Shawn Michaels moves on. The Rock versus Randy Orton. The Rock moves on. Shawn Michaels and The Rock. Shawn Michaels loses to The Rock, and then Roman Reigns beats The Rock. And over here we have John Cena and Kane. John Cena moves on. Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero moves on. Brock Lesnar and Edge. Brock Lesnar moves on. Andre and Big Show. Andre moves on. Ultimate Warrior and Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley moves on. Bret Hart versus Booker T. Bret Hart moves on. Ric Flair and Daniel Bryan. Ric Flair moves on. Stone Cold and Bruno and Martino. Stone Cold moves on. Stone Cold beats Ric Flair. Bret Hart beats Bobby Lashley. Stone Cold beats Bret Hart. Moves to the semifinals. Andre loses to Brock Lesnar. Sorry. John Cena beats Brock Lesnar. Moves on to the semifinals. John Cena loses to Stone Cold. Roman Reigns beats The Rock. Now we have Roman Reigns and Stone Cold in the finals here.
I think we should let the host have the deciding vote if it comes down to a tie. So Malik, you go last. You should have the deciding vote. It's your show.
Well, mine's already unanimous, so I mean,
all right. So I'm gonna let Petty go. Petty, go first, bro.
Okay.
I guess it wouldn't be unanimous. I'm thinking differently now. So
it's the end of the night. It's the end of the tournament.
This is crazy.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, a three-time Royal Rumble winner, a King of the Ring, with 7-time world champion. I can't think of how many times he won it right now. And Roman Reigns, our time limit. But what a pop it would be, and just how magical it would be if Stone Cold upsets Roman Reigns, picking Stone Cold.
Sean?
You know, Roman.
You going with Roman?
Roman Reigns had to grow one. Can I have a moment, guys?
Listen, first I want to say this. I love Roman. Roman Reigns is my favorite wrestler on the planet right now. I love Roman Reigns. He's squeezed into my top 10 favorites of all time, actually. He's like in the 10th spot right now currently. He's currently creeping like in the 8th spot as we speak. He's creeping like further and further down the road for me to be down the line. He could possibly be in my top 5 by the time he retires. I don't know. Personal favorites, not like all-time greats. And I do believe when he retires, he will go down as one of the all-time greats. I don't know if he'll be up there with like the John Cenas and the Stone Colds and the Rocks and everything. I'm not saying he'll be on that level, but he will be a mention among the all-time greats. Like he will deserve to be in that conversation. But the reason this is crazy to me is because Roman Reigns is still fresh right now. And right now, he's not on these guys' level when it comes to a lot of things, if you ask me right now, currently, as we speak, currently in 2021, as we're currently speaking. I understand the reasons that, the booking of advancing him and everything, because he is, currently the upcoming guy. I mean, 5 years from now, Roman Reigns is going to be better than he is right now. You know what I mean? And he's already great the way he is. So just think about Roman Reigns 5 years from now. Just think about where this man's going to be. This man's going to have more WrestleMania main events under his belt. He already got like 5. He's going to have more World Championship reigns. He's going to have a lot of things that he's going to accomplish. He may be the next superstar to. A lot of people feel like that. John Cena is going to be the last star to become big outside of wrestling. I think Roman Reigns could be that. I think he could become just as big outside of wrestling as he is in wrestling. So he has potential. But a lot of things changed when it came to that draw for me. So Roman Reigns getting to the end, it is a big upset. Which, like I said, there's always upsets in tournaments. Tournaments have upsets all the time. For me, though, I'll let you go, Sean. Think about it.
I'll make this brief. So, Roman Reigns over the last 18 months has elevated himself into my top 50 wrestlers to ever live. That's the last, and he would have been my top 30 for 2020. So, I'm gonna shorten this up by just saying this. This tournament is going to go down in history as a tournament that Roman Reigns proves that he is to be reckoned with at elite level. But when all the dust settles and all the smoke clears, he will just go down in history as being this close to being one of the best of all time. He will go down as one of the best, but he will not reach the Mount Rushmore when it's all said and done, and he will not reach the King of the Ring victory in this tournament. Stone Cold wins in a classic.
So Stone Cold Steve Austin for the win. He's gonna put me in a tough spot. Say Roman. I was gonna debate with the Roman thing. Because I could see Roman winning. It was like I could see how it could make sense because, like I said, like kind of like Batista passing the torch. You know what I'm saying? Like like the passing of the torch thing. But I mean, Stone Cold is Stone Cold Steve Austin. So I mean, excuse me. At the end of the day, you either have the ultimate babyface win or you have the ultimate heel win. You know what I mean? So you either make people happy or make people mad. At the end of the day. That's what it comes down to the booking decision. So, I gotta go with that. I gotta see some comments there.
I want to ask you. I think that the winner of the tournament, I'm sure 70% of the people would have the same guy that we had, but I'm sure
A lot of people I think would have had Stone Cold.
I agree.
Because they were always upsets and everything. So I was thinking maybe maybe Stone Cold could have an upset, but it's like it's really hard. So.
I think the big thing for me in most of these matches that set it apart was storytelling. Because in most instances, like he had to beat Bret Hart to get to here. In most instances, I'm not going against my guy, but the story would be he finally gets over the hump. He gets over that guy that beat him twice. He gets to move on. Roman Reigns, I'm getting on the Roman bandwagon now. It took me a little bit, I would get irritated. People bring his name up and I kind of roll my eyes. And it's not because he's a 49er fan and I'm not. It's just like I'm just not seeing it. I'm seeing it now. But I like Sean's analogy of we've seen those matches where you're there, but you're not there yet. John Cena and The Rock the first time. You're there, but you're not there. So.
HBK versus Bret Hart in 92.
Survivor Series 92.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was crazy. That was really crazy. The tag team one's probably gonna be even crazier than that one. The tag team one's gonna be something different.
No.
I'll tell you guys something. I like the buy. I like the draw because, and I'm not gonna lie. I bit off WrestleMania 4. I bit off the King of the Ring 93. It adds this element that I like the fact that Roman Reigns gets a buy. Roman Reigns gets a buy. It allows him to be fresh to escape the Rock and then just fall short against Austin. I like the fact that neither Hogan nor Undertaker lose.
And if we're going to talk about those two pay-per-views, neither one of the guys who got the buys in those pay-per-views won the tournament.
Right.
Because I think Ted DiBiase got the buy because, right?
DiBiase got the buy.
DiBiase got the buy and Bam Bam got the buy, and they both lost in finals.
Now, see, that's what I'm talking about.
So you guys are looking at different booking perspectives than I was. I wasn't looking at things that way. I'm looking at things completely different for me on a different perspective. So the buy definitely changed a lot of things. I think it made, I don't know, at least made me think a little bit different.
But isn't that the point?
A lot of things.
But isn't that the point?
To an extent, yeah. I mean, I understand why the buy happened. You know what I'm saying? Like fans are watching. Oh my God. Hogan and Taker are both gone? Oh my God. Right. I like the buy. The buy makes things a little bit different. It makes things a little more challenging, and it makes things a little bit more. It leaves the circumstances and like suspicions high. You know what I mean? Like for Roman Reigns, but maybe for the entire tournament now, because now you saw a draw. You know what I mean? So now you're like, oh well.
And I want to put something out there too. I agree with you 1,000% when you say Roman Reigns doesn't get to the finals if he doesn't get a bye, which I think adds to the intrigue of the tournament, and more importantly, the aftermath of the tournament, where Roman Reigns can brag about getting to the finals, but then Hogan and Taker could be like, yeah, you only got to the finals, but you didn't have to face me.
Yeah, I mean, anybody who ever gets a bye in the tournaments, they never win. I mean, they could, but
they never do.
They did the same.
It's almost an assurance that they won't.
They did the same thing in 2005 when they did that little tournament for WrestleMania when Kurt Angle and John Cena were in the finals. Kurt Angle got the bye, and he faced John Cena in the finals, and he lost to John Cena. This was like, I think it was a tournament to see who faced JBL at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I remember.
Kurt Angle beat Mysterio in the first round. The Undertaker and Rene Dupree had the draw, and Kurt Angle moves on to the next round. John Cena has to beat two guys, and then now he faces Kurt Angle in the finals. You know what I mean? So Kurt Angle loses and everything. So they've done that before and everything. But personally, I just never liked when they do that. Like I hated that. Like I hate the draws. Like I understand why they do them, but I never liked them.
WrestleMania 4, you guys weren't born. I was 2.
Yeah, I wasn't born yet.
Yeah, I was 2. Looking at it from a different perspective, like think about how that tournament played out. You guys are both familiar with the tournament, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Hogan and Andre fight it actually turned out to be a double disqualification.
Right.
That means that DiBiase doesn't have to face Andre, who was his confidant, or Hogan, which would have been counterproductive for the brand to have DiBiase beat Hogan. You can't have that. And Hogan was going to leave, so Hogan couldn't win the tournament. So how do we get Hogan out of there in a feasible way where Hogan doesn't lose any steam, Andre doesn't get embarrassed, and we can get DiBiase to the finals? Okay, cool. Now, the double disqualification happened. You go on the network or you have it on tape, you watch it.
I know what happened, yeah.
AC boos. The Trump crowd boos. They're very upset about the double disqualification, right?
Right.
But what did that do? That opened the door for Savage. Because what are we going to have? Savage beat Hogan in the finals? No.
Especially when you're going to have them in WrestleMania the following week. And even King of the Ring 93, you had the Narcissist and Tatanka go to a draw, which gave Bam Bam the bye, which gave Bam Bam, the big guy, extra time. Meanwhile, Bret has to face Razor Ramon, Mr. Perfect, in one of the great matches you'll ever see.
Right.
Then have to face Bam Bam.
And to add to your point, Narcissist and Tatanka remain undefeated, and neither one of them lose their steam as being top guys.
In fact, and what they did from a booking standpoint with those guys afterwards is why I don't have a lot of hair. But that's a different story. That's a different story. I'll probably make a couple of TikToks about it and sweat.
You're talking about the booking of Tatanka and
yeah, because Narcissist, what was it? July the 4th, that's when they did the whole Yokozuna slam contest, and Luger was the last guy. Now you've had this guy since the Royal Rumble who's been your new nasty heel, who's all of a sudden on track on the Lex Express to be the heir apparent new world champion, or at least, the new top guy to face Yokozuna. Meanwhile, Tatanka loses to Ludwig Borga on TV.
I'm gonna give you something real quick. Malik, do we have time?
Yeah.
All right, here's the deal for me. I didn't dislike Ludwig Borga beating Tatanka with one finger. I disliked the fact that Ludwig Borga wouldn't be around for another 2 months. Ludwig Borga was off the scene by January.
Yeah.
Now, if Ludwig Borga stays, Ludwig Borga is your top heel for the next 12 months. I'll take that back and I'll rephrase it. Ludwig Borga stays around, and Ludwig Borga and Yokozuna are your top 2 heels for the next
top 2 heels. And then Yoko kind of drifts off after WrestleMania 10. You focus more. Okay, I can see that. I guess I look at it more from Tatanka's perspective of like, that was a really big deal. Like, this was before Goldberg and the streak in 98. So it was like, I would have liked it to have been something spectacular, maybe a main event, maybe a pay-per-view, that was just how I looked at it. When it was on Superstars taping, it was like,
I feel you. I just think that as you're watching, I think it was WWF Superstars.
It was Superstars.
You're saying to yourself, okay, Ludwig Borga beat him with one finger. Okay, that's basically one finger on America, the whole anti-American storyline that was going on. I get that. Tatanka really doesn't lose anything except the undefeated streak because we all know that Yokozuna and Crush jumped him.
And so then
So it's like, okay,
yeah, true.
all the lines are in a row where we can say, okay, you know, all the stars are aligned because now Tatanka doesn't lose any steam. Ludwig Borga gets all the heat in the world because he beat Tatanka and the undefeated streak with one finger. Ludwig Borga can now go to Survivor Series, what should have happened back in the days when no heel ever ended a pay-per-view with a victory. Ludwig Borga should have been the sole survivor at the Survivor Series that year.
I see where you're going with that.
And then you have a Ludwig Borga, in my opinion, it should have been Ludwig Borga, Bret Hart rivalry. Because I never liked Lesnar. Never.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that point. I think I'm
Ludwig Borga leaving the WWE made the loss for Tatanka pointless. That's the problem.
Sure. But it did. One thing I will say, because of how they switched it, it did give us, at the end, the Yokozuna Undertaker feud, 2 casket matches in the same year. So
that is also true. Happy accident, yes.
All right, we'll go ahead and sign off. Appreciate everybody for watching in the chat, interacting. Appreciate you guys for being on here. I'll let you guys plug in your social media and everything. We'll start with Sean. After Sean goes, you can go ahead and go, and then we'll go ahead and sign off and everything. To everybody, they can follow you.
You already know what it is, man. HubWrestlingWeekly.com, Hub_Wrestling on Twitter. Hub, oh my God, MVP. No, I'm lying. Hub Wrestling _MVP on TikTok. Over 1.5 million views for the hashtag Hub Wrestling. Thank y'all for that. And more importantly than everything else I just said, God is good all the time. God is good, and evil never prevails.
And with that, you guys can follow me at Petty Endo on Instagram, PettyEndo89 on TikTok. And like I said earlier this week, there is nothing like a passionate wrestling fan. Nothing in the world like a passionate wrestling fan. And my man Malik is a prime example, as well as this gentleman here. Good to meet you. I look on Instagram.
Make sure you guys give this guys a follow on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all the social media platforms. Give them some support. Check out their content. Be on the lookout for some stuff we got coming in the future. Another Jeopardy in the works. WWE Jeopardy for people who seen those. More tier lists and a bunch of stuff. May even do some newer things that I'm planning on for my channel too that I don't want to reveal yet and everything, but keep it kind of secret and everything. But make sure you guys give you guys a follow, check them out, man. Appreciate you guys for being on here.